Hello and good evening from Germany. Um, Hello to everyone to another episode of the Swis Jon Show without Swis. I've sent him a link for tonight's show, and he. One second, let me check what he wrote. Swis, I hope that you don't mind that I'm doxing our conversations. So he told me, sorry, I won't be able to join the show again. And big congratulations on the watch, which we're going to talk about it in a couple of minutes. So Swiss can't make it. I hope that he's reaching out very soon to me. And I hope that he will be part of the Swis Jon Show very soon. I just thought that it would make sense to keep this spot a little bit occupied. And of course, I want to give you an update on the watch, which arrived now. Just picked it up yesterday, and it is absolutely beautiful. Let me just give you a little teaser. Here we go. So the Benjamin Chi Celestial Voyager, it has arrived, and it is absolutely beautiful. I picked it up at the AD yesterday in Berlin. I've been on vacation for a couple of days. The trailer that you've just seen is part of my favorite Bond movie, For Your Eyes Only. And the snow scenes have been shot in Cortina in Italy. And I've been in Cortina in the last couple of days. Beautiful snow, beautiful weather. They just got fresh snow when we arrived. And it was absolutely beautiful. And on the way back, I picked up my beautiful Celestial Voyager that I've been waiting for many, many months and weeks. It's finally ready. When I started going on vacation, I received this picture and more. So it was a little bit a thrill. Let me just give you the full screen or the full picture. This is what I got when I went on vacation. The watch was ready, was tested, and it was on the way to Germany then. What really thrilled me, what was totally exciting, was the movement ring. You all know this story. I'm going to repeat it a little bit more. Usually those Celestial Voyager watches have this movement ring around the movement, which is made out of mother of pearl. And I asked at an early stage if it would be possible to have black pearl nacre instead of normal white nacre. And the reply was yes, but it's going to cost you a couple of €1,000 extra. And at that point of time, I already spent enough money on the customization, and I dropped the idea. So as a special nod to me, or just to show that Alex from Sven Andersen is always trying to surpass himself, I was so excited and surprised to see this first picture of my completed watch. And the movement ring outside is mother of pearl, but it's black nacre. So it still shines silverish. If you put it into a certain angle, you can see rainbow colors. So the South Sea pearls that are risen in the Pacific Ocean, there are two different mussels or oysters, or however you call them. One is Pinctata maxima, which is a white big mussel, which makes those beautiful white South Sea pearls. And the other one is Pinctata margaritifera, which is famous for the Tahiti black pearls. And Pinctata margaritifera makes those darker nacres. And that is what I wanted. You all know that I have a special connection to the South Sea. I've been a couple of times in Tahiti, and Bora Bora is my favorite place on this earth. And I just thought black mother of pearl movement ring would be a good idea. And Alex totally surprised me and excited me by doing that. So without teasing you any further, I'm going to show you a picture of the watch on the strap. And I'm waiting for Curly Q to join the discussion. Here it is. That is the watch. Took a picture today. The light is not perfect at the moment, but I think it gives you a good idea about how the watch looks like. Let me also... Oh, we have Thomas Burnett in the background. 1 second. I put the link up. Oh, Tanzil is here. So I just put the link here. Hello, Thomas. Good evening.
Hi, Jonathan. How are you doing? Wow, look at this. Wow.
I'm doing very good, as you can imagine.
I can imagine you doing amazing. I can imagine you chuffed a bit. Look at this. Wow.
Yes. So it's finally here, and it's absolutely stunning.
Isn't it just? Look at that. Wow.
Thomas, let me apologize at first. I couldn't join your show because I was on the road, and
not at all. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Let's focus on this. Let's focus on this.
So on the next Escapement show, if you still want me, I will be happy to participate.
Yeah, that'd be great. Wow, look at this. Stunning.
Yeah, so yes, I'm super happy. What the picture doesn't show, and I've seen them at the factory. I didn't really notice them. You know, the city ring outside, it is made out of aventurine, true aventurine stone.
Wow.
Not the artificial one. And you can see those little dots probably on those images, and those dots sparkle. So if you move the watch, it is like little spikes in your eyes. It just glances from everywhere.
I bet. Does it glisten as well a little bit? Does it?
Yes.
Like the adventure should. I like JJ's comment. He says it should say Darwin on it.
Well,
we all know about that, JJ.
Yes.
We know that story now.
I agree with you, JJ, and hello, good evening. Yes, and New York, yes, exactly. So
great.
Yes. So, by the way, Tanzil, I've reached out to a friend of yours. I've lost your email address. Please be so kind to email me. I'm gonna give my Jonathan Quell Higgins email address just here in the comments. So please be so kind to reach me. Now I'm gonna receive probably a lot of spam, which doesn't matter. So, but here is my email address. Please reach out to me, because I would like to talk to you if you would. So yes, so now we lost track.
So we've got a venturing ring on the outside with the cities on, and then you've got an enamel ring on the middle.
No, that is just a printed metal ring. Nothing super special. That is just the standard, just like a dial. I would assume that it's brass.
Right.
So the numbers turn anti-clockwise, if I know that correctly. I haven't really set the watch for a longer distance. So, but as far as I know, that little ring moves counterclockwise, and then you can read. So, for example, this was 3:30 my time, Hamburg, because Hamburg is adjusted to 12.
Sure.
And at that moment, for example, in Bangkok, it was 8:30 in the evening. That is how you read it.
Right. So just go through that. How would you read the function of the world time? How would you read the time in Bangkok?
Well, you just go where it's written Bangkok, and there is a dot in the middle of Bangkok, and you just look at the position on that numbers ring, then inside, and it's between 20 and 21, which means 8 o'clock in the night or 9 o'clock in the night, and it's more or less precisely in the middle. So it's
Right.
8:30 in the evening.
Right. So you set the ring to tell the time, to set it to the time so that you can read 2 time zones at once.
Exactly, yes. And
Yeah.
you can change that city ring outside. So at the moment, Hamburg is adjusted to 12. I could with a crown at 9, I can move that city ring. So, for example, I could put Rio de Janeiro. I can turn the city ring clockwise until the dot which with Rio de Janeiro matches the dot at 12 on the dial.
Yeah.
And then I just set the time normally, just like a normal watch. And from there on, I can see the world times then still being displayed.
Wow.
So I can travel with this watch. I can adjust it, change the city ring outside, and then I can read the time, my home time, for example, then for Hamburg. Or
Sure.
for Bora Bora.
So the A at the top, above Hamburg,
Yes.
what does that indicate? Home
That is
time?
that is the logo of Sven Andersen. Sven Andersen is the little watch atelier that made that watch. Benjamin G.
Yes.
BCHH is the designer, and the A
Sure.
stands for Sven Andersen.
So at the bottom of the globe, where we see in the middle, we've got BCHH, Benjamin G.
Haute horology, yes.
Horology, and then Sven Andersen's logo at the top of Hamburg.
Exactly,
for,
yes.
for your central time zone.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And
wow.
what was really amazing, I think Benjamin G told me, if you want, we can leave away the BCHH logo and the Sven Andersen logo to make the watch cleaner. But I told him that there is no way. I mean, you guys have created these items, so why should I delete you from this particular watch? It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm proud to have the Sven Andersen logo and the BCHH logo on the watch, just like it was intended.
It makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
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 So Tenzil.
Sorry, carry on, Jonathan. Yeah.
Tenzil mentions Aspen is there. I think I talked about it on another show. Told Tenzil, Aspen is where Mrs. Higgins and I married in 2000. So 23 years ago. That is why Aspen is on this ring.
Lovely that you managed to include that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Benjamin Chi was telling the story, I think here on the channel, but I'd love to repeat that again, because he said when he created this particular watch, everybody was stuck at home because of COVID. And he thought he would make a world timer just to make it possible to travel in your mind over the map or over those cities and just dreaming about going to certain places. And that was the purpose and the idea behind the Celestial Voyager that he created. And that idea caught with me. And I picked up some cities and locations that are special for me. And that is my watch. Nobody else gives a shit, probably, about those places. But this watch belongs to me. It will not leave me. So I wanted to make it as personal as possible.
I don't think anybody should give a shit about it, really, because it's all about you. This watch,
exactly. Yeah,
this is you. This is your watch and your favorite watch, I would imagine, of forever.
Yeah, yeah.
This is your signature piece.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, nobody has one like that. Yes. Have you noticed? I crop. 1 second. I will crop a little bit more. 1 second. Wrong page. Have you noticed the darker highlights here? That is the Himalaya.
All right. Okay.
So they made it a little bit darker. There is also this part of Russia has also very high mountains, which is highlighted. And here you can see a little highlight. Those are the European Alps.
Yeah, and didn't you include the lakes in Russia? Was it?
Yes, that was something very special. My first dial has cracked during the printing process, so
Yes.
they had to start all over again. And Alex told me that he made some improvements over the last dial, and I think I pressed him a little bit, and he told me that he added this lake here, the Caspian Sea. He
Right.
added that. And then I asked him, could you add Lake Baikal? Because I remember I saw a very interesting TV documentation. Lake Baikal is the deepest lake in the world. It's nearly 3,800 meters deep, frozen in the Russian winter. There are very many romantic myths about Lake Baikal. And I asked him, maybe could you please add Lake Baikal? And his reply was, "It's your lucky day because at, as we speak, they're producing it, and Lake Baikal will be on."
Wow.
So they added Lake Baikal, and they also improved the coastlines here. They are much more detailed than on the first dial. So he was serious about saying he's trying to always to improve things for his clients, and that is what he does.
I see the outlines around the countries. Is
Mhm.
is that to do with the um painting process or enameling process or
Well, the outlines. This technique is called cloisonné.
Cloisonné?
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
in English,
So that'll be the bits of metal,
yes, those are bits of gold.
right?
Are you asking because you really don't know, or are you asking to entertain the viewers?
A bit of both.
Okay. So no, I'm happy to pull up a picture of a cloisonné process, just to make it a little bit more transparent. We talked about it previously, but I'm happy to show it again. So cloisonné, the root of the word has something to do with enclosed, and the process of cloisonné is they take a gold wire which is flat, and they put it on the slim side so that it forms a border, and this is all done by hand. So the bending process is all done by hand, and they glue it on the basic dial, and
Fast.
then the enamel powder is filled in those little fields. It's burned. More enamel powder is done like that, and at the end you can see those border lines just on this dial,
Yeah.
and on my Celestial Voyager, you can see those borders, or those cloisons, as they are called, on the dial. One second, I pull it up again. Here, so those gold outlines are is that flat wire which is bent by hand and then fixed to the dial, and that makes sure that the enamel powder is not merging into the other colors
Sure.
when the powder is being melted.
Wow. It's amazing to think of this the artistic process
Yes,
that's gone into this.
there are not many people who are able to do that, who have the skills and the patience to do that. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
So it
So
sounds easy, but the process is really very difficult and very special. Yes.
how do you know how they get the different colors of the sea, or how they blend the really dark blue into the light blues into the. How do they manage that without getting?
I think they're doing a kind of drawing with a little brush in the enamel powder, but you have to be very careful not to mess them up. So basically, those are 3 different colors or even more, and they just paint it on or put the powder on the dial, then fire it up, get it melted, and then put more powder on, get it melted as well.
Yeah,
that is called micro painting or painting with enamel. So that is a different technology.
Wow.
But what was also one of the requirements was I really wanted to have parts of the ocean really very dark blue, bordering on black, and they just did it beautifully, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely stunning.
And you notice here the little gold dots? You can see the
some Bora Bora and
Bora Bora, Hamburg, and Hong Kong. Unfortunately, Hong Kong is covered at that moment by the hour hand, but it's still there.
Yeah, wow. And I love the fact that it looks like it's got 2 crowns, which are recessed.
Yes, that is that is one of Benjamin Chee's achievements. One second, I'll show you. I'll just show you the crowns. 1 second. Like I said, I'm very bad with multitasking, but we're getting there.
So it's got one on the left and one on the right.
Yes.
One's to rotate the ring, the world time ring, and one's to do the winding and.
Exactly, yes. So here you can see the backside of the watch. The crown here is the crown at 3 o'clock, and there is another crown at 12 o'clock. I'm gonna show you guys the side view in a minute, just to explain the clock here at 3 o'clock just operates as a normal crown. So in that position, you can wind up the watch, then you pull out the crown to the first position, and you change the hands. Just the hour and the minute hand. And with the crown on the other side, you don't have to pull it out. You just put your thumb there and you turn the crown, and with by that you can move the city ring.
Wow. So what kind of movements does Sven Andersson use?
Sven Andersson
makes his own, I presume.
Say it again?
He makes his own, I presume.
He has a more or less exclusive movement to himself. So I think in the 1960s or 70s, he bought a lot of old A Schild movements, which he uses exclusively for his world timers. What you have to know is that module requires a lot of power. And when I was visiting him in November, or Swis and I, we've been visiting him, he told us that he sometimes works with a Frédéric Piquet movement, but he told us the torque is not enough to power his module for the world timer.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not a Frédéric Piquet movement in this watch.
No, this is Anton Schild with a very beautiful decoration. The 2 wheels on the top, the ratchet wheels, are even having anglage, and the tooth of the gears are polished by hand. So he's putting a lot of work in those movements, and it looks just stunning. The highlight, of course, is the blue gold rotor that he uses, and the problem is no picture is really showing the true beauty of that rotor. You have to see it in real life. No picture does it justice. You all know that I wanted this special pattern on my rotor. Sven Andersen or Benjamin Chi is using a different pattern usually, but I wanted this pattern. And you see how it catches the light, and with the different angles when it moves, it's always a new look, and it's just hypnotizing. It's really beautiful.
Walter 63 says, "Is it rude to ask what is the accuracy of the movement?" That's quite interesting.
I can't tell you. I have the watch now since one day. I don't have a second hand. I have no idea, and nor do I care. I would guess that the accuracy is not super high, but you can't see it because there is no second hand, so it really doesn't bother you. I think we should be with Rolls-Royce motto. The accuracy is accurate. How about that?
Yeah. So tell me, what it's a Benjamin Chi Sven Andersen collaboration. What aspects did Benjamin Chi bring to the watch? Do you know?
It is totally his brainchild.
Design wise.
Yeah, he created the design of this watch from scratch.
Right.
So he was using the technology, the module, the world time module that Sven Andersen has been using. It is a Louis Coutier development, and Sven Andersen has been using this module for many years. By the way, Patek Philippe is also using the same technology. They changed it a little bit to their requirement, but that is the Louis Coutier world time module that he developed.
Right. So he had a lot. Is the case design Sven Andersen standard case design?
No. That is a special custom design for Benjamin Chi. Sven Andersen doesn't do this case at all.
Right.
So this is all Benjamin Chi, and that was my first impulse that drew me into that watch. I said it before. I'm a sucker for good lugs. I really love beautiful lugs. I've never seen those kind of lugs on a watch, and that was what drew me into that watch, and made me choose and pick this watch. And the lugs are absolutely gorgeous.
It seems like they're sort of indented slightly. They're sort of
they are concave.
Yeah, concave. That's the word
Yes.
I'm looking for. Yeah.
So they are hollowed out, or it's not really hollowed out, but they are recessed inside. Yeah, you're correct about that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Must be very difficult to polish.
Yeah, it must be. Absolutely. No,
And
Dr. Dremel polishing these lugs.
Dr. Dremel is not touching that, I promise you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. What was interesting? Let me put one Sven Andersen Mundus. Mundus is one of the most famous watches of Sven Andersen. 1 second. Let me pull that up.
Oh,
it uses the same module.
Taking your avatar off, Jonathan. You've
Say it again.
Just taking your avatar off. It's gone a bit. Use.
Oh,
avatar.
okay. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Thank you. So this is the famous Mundus by Sven Andersen. It is a super flat watch, and you can see the crowns at 3 and 9 as well.
Yes.
Benjamin Chi told me that one of his points of attention were the crowns, because he didn't want this particular watch to look like a Teletubby. And so he was working very hard in slimming down the crowns. And I know that this was a very lengthy discussion process between him and the people at Sven Andersen. And I think it's very important to understand the design of the Celestial Voyager, keeping that in mind, that one of the points of his attention was this crown, and he made probably the slimmest and smallest crowns in the business, just to avoid this kind of appearance.
It's almost as beautiful from behind as it is from the front, isn't it? Yes. That rotor that you've customized is just stunning. I mean, the sort of, I'm trying to think of the word of the pattern.
The pattern is called losange magique, or magique losange, which means rhombus or diamonds, or you can also call it lozenges. It's an amazing design. Actually, that is not. One second, let me Sven Anderson. So you can find this design on a watch from Sven Anderson, which is called the Jumping Hour, and that was my inspiration. And I like this pattern so much that I asked the people at Sven Anderson if they can replicate, or if I can have the rotor in this pattern.
Interesting.
So 1 second, let me make it a little bit bigger. And you can see it's the same pattern, and it's also a kind of guillochage. So it is also a guilloché pattern. I've never seen that before. I think it's totally hypnotizing and absolutely cool.
Yes. And Dodger was saying, what was the rotor plated with again? The gold rotor?
It is not plated. It is heat treated.
Heat blued, wasn't it?
Yes, it is heat blued. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same with this dial. So the dial is also heat blued.
Wow.
So what they're doing is they're using 21 karat of gold with a very high content of iron, and the iron turns blue when you heat it up, just like a blue heated or heat blued screws and hands.
Yeah.
You know, you have those blued hands. Those are usually steel, and the same effect goes then for this dial and for the rotor.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult. The people at Sven Anderson showed us some rotors which have been heated too long, and the moment you have it heated too long, it turns purple and then it turns gray.
Yeah, I was just going to say, go pink sort of color, sort of.
Yeah. So you're walking a very thin line.
Yeah.
So 1 second, let me show you a different perspective of my watch. So I've showed you the view of the crown at
So that's the 3 o'clock crown, is it? Oh, I think Jonathan's just muted himself for a minute. Yeah, you can see the logo on there, the Sven Anderson logo on that crown.
No, that is Benjamin Chi. That is a B and a C.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm getting everything wrong today, aren't I?
No problem.
So that's Benjamin Chi's logo.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that is the crown at 9 o'clock. That operates the world time, the city ring outside.
Right.
When you're changing your position, you have to turn the city ring then.
So do they push in these crowns and pull out to adjust?
This particular crown is not pushed in or pulled out. This is just like it is, and when you turn it, the world time ring is turning. So we have another guest. Hello and good evening, Tan.
Oh,
Hi,
it's
Tom.
evening for you guys. It's evening for you guys. Guten Abend.
Guten
Good to-
Abend.
Good to see you, my friend.
So is this the Tom and Jerry show, the Tom and John show? What is it? How you guys doing?
Yeah,
we are doing very good.
And sorry, John, I just wanted to hop on, congratulate you on the watch. I know that you guys have been going through it, but I just want to say congrats. I'm staying on the stream. I just want to say congrats off the top.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I hope that that you kind of like it, that you can live with it.
Oh, I love it. The stories of the cities like the Aspen, like, man, it was an incredible stream. So I have a lot of appreciation for this watch now.
Thank you very much. Yeah, yes, it's I see it as a once in a life opportunity to make something that personal and that special, and it's just amazing that that people were supporting me and not have been telling me to fuck off and to just shut up and accept the watch just like it is. Hello, Mr. GMT.
I don't know. GMT.
What's going on, boys?
Hello, Mr. Sexy.
What's happening? It's first thing in the morning. I thought I'd quickly come on and say a quick congratulations to Jonathan. I actually convinced you to get this, and I'm so glad you got it and gone through the journey. But
it's all your fault. Yes,
I've got a serious issue with the way that you're presenting this. Why do you sound like you're fucking depressed when you're talking about it? Can't you give a bit more enthusiasm about it? You're putting everyone to fucking sleep, for fuck's sakes.
I'm so tired still from driving. I've been driving from Italy to Berlin now to here, and you know that I'm an old man. I'm not that energetic and sexy just like you are.
Because I'll tell you what, man, it sounds like you're depressed to have this fucking thing because it's so gorgeous. You got to give a bit more enthusiasm when you're freaking talking about the goddamn thing.
I apologize, but I don't have my edibles handy. So
John, how long did this watch take from order to being in your hands?
Almost 1 year when the order was fixed. I've been meeting Alex from Sven Andersen at the end of February last year. Because one of my concerns, and you know that, Tan, was the watch is in 37.5 millimeters.
Yes.
37.3 to be precise. And I was a little bit afraid that it would be too small. And so one of my first tasks was to test wear the watch, just to make sure that it's not too small for me.
Do you have a screen?
How can you worry about this being too small when you've got an IP36? And that looks like a friggin' jelly bean on your wrist.
I think it's important on the lugs, right? Look at the lugs, because he described this on the stream too. The lugs are pretty special.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah. The lugs are very specially shaped, and Benjamin he assured me from day one that it wouldn't be an issue. He has clients who have massive wrists who could.
Jonathan, don't you have a wrist shot of it?
One second. I can't talk and pull up images. You know how I'm wired, so I apologize. But I'm trying to send you a wrist shot. 1 second.
Tan, how are you, my man?
Yeah, I'm good. I saw John this morning, so I tried to hop on when I had some time. Oh, look at this! Is this on the drive home?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
So is that exciting and enthusiastic enough for you, Mr. GMT?
Yeah, I would have put one of the fingers down, but
that blue, John, that blue looks so nice, man, in natural light. That looks so nice.
Doesn't it look gorgeous? It's beautiful.
It looks gorgeous, man. It really does. It actually pops on your wrist. It really does. Besides the leather band, everything else is beautiful.
Are we having this discussion again, Mr. GMT?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying my point of view. That's all.
Well, look, it's an interesting point, though, Jonathan. Do you anticipate, because this is the original strap that you're getting from the manufacturer, do you anticipate maybe just taking it off, keeping it pristine, and maybe putting other ones on it?
I usually do that with my watches. I haven't done it with this particular watch because the strap is so unnormal, and this is how I saw the watch at the first time. Mr. GMT remembers that when I sent him the pictures of the watch, and I told him, Mr. GMT, I'm totally in love with the watch, but I can't afford it. And he said, okay, let's go over your collection and make it possible. I think those were your words, weren't they?
Yes, that's right. That's what I said.
Well, honestly, guys, 1 year for manufacturer is not bad at all.
With really all those customizations and fuck-ups, I think it's a very good time, yes. Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be longer than that. I thought it would be a couple of years. Like, that's really good.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too. But yeah, they did well.
Yeah, so the first estimate was May. So that didn't happen, but that was pretty obvious that it couldn't happen. So I'm totally happy with the 1 year.
Because you're a fussy fucker, that's why.
Yes, and we had so many changes and so many ideas that have been added on. So yes, it is all is well that ends well, and I think the results are just outstanding.
Well, the journey starts now, right, Jonathan? And the questions are going to come up around, the long-term maintenance of the piece. Like, can you describe kind of what your the long-term plan? How are you going to keep it maintained? Do you have a connection to do it? Like parts, like can you kind of describe what that would look like?
Well, I'm not really worried about parts or maintaining it. I have my friends at Sven Andersen who will be happy to support me. Sven Andersen himself is now 80, and he sold the company to Alex, who is very much younger than me, total enthusiast about everything that he does. And I'm very sure that
someone's got a bit of enthusiasm.
and Alex will take care for the watch if it's needed. One of my main concerns at the moment is, Mr. TMT knows that I have a tendency of scratching up my new watches. At the moment, there is one big event waiting for the watch. Because Monochrome wants to feature this particular watch in one of their collector's articles.
Really? Wow!
And
nice.
And I will be in touch with them next week, and they have some questions, but I couldn't reply to them because I didn't have the watch. Now I have the watch, and I would like to offer them to drive the watch down to their head office somewhere in the Netherlands, and to take professional photos of the watch. That means that I shouldn't scratch the watch at the moment when I'm wearing it.
Well, don't fuck it up and you'll be right.
Exactly, yes. That is exactly what I'm afraid of that I'm going to fuck it up. I'm going to scratch this watch because I'm going to wear it a lot, no doubt about it. Of course, I'm not doing plumb work or changing the wheels on my car. With the watch on, but for sure it will be worn and loved, and that's exactly what Alex wants.
I think with the design too, like you can, if you take the strap off, you put on something that's more water resistant, you can definitely have fun. Like just the way it's a white metal, blue dial, like it can look really nice. Like not, just like you're wearing a sweater in this photo, like it looks excellent in this. So. Yeah, I think you really couldn't have gone wrong. And I don't think the size is small at all. I think it fits perfect. It looks great.
No, it fits good. I reckon it does, yeah.
Doesn't look like a lady watch, I would say.
No.
You know what? What, John, like when you get too big on quote unquote dress pieces, what people call them, it can just look off, right? This doesn't look out of place or off. If it was much bigger, it just wouldn't. I think it would ruin it. I think this is classy.
Yeah.
Mr. GMT.
There's a lot of talk in the chat about saying if the strap goes wrong, you can always put it on a NATO strap.
Yes.
I'd love to see that.
And we know what that joke's about.
Yeah. Yes. Tanya, do you know that the Instagram page Langes on NATO's?
I've never seen it. Yes, first I've heard of it, so I should go check it out.
There is an entire Instagram page dedicated on Langes on NATO straps. It's awful.
I love it.
I warn you.
It's funny because John, like on other streams, I was listening to this the other day. They're talking about watches and keeping the stickers on and just putting it in a bank vault forever. Like, fuck, man. Like, you know, who cares if you get a scratch? And I know you care, but like, you know, enjoy it. Like you spent all this time, you're anticipating it for so long. Just wear it, enjoy it, make more memories. You know, add another city to it. You know, the way I see it, right?
That's exactly the plan. So I was talking to Ben when I picked up the watch. He was the first person that I called, and I told him one of my goals is to make an image of the watch with each city that is on the city ring.
Yeah, so yeah, I was literally thinking on the same lines. It's because look, you have other cities that you chose, because you and I went through them, right? Like Tom, I don't know if you saw the stream, but you know, I asked Jonathan about why he picked Bombay, why he didn't, you know, why did he pick that city, or other ones that are on the list. Like, I think you have Helsinki here, right? I think is on here. In Finland, right? Like stuff like that. I mean, accessibility to Helsinki is probably easier for him than going to India, but
sure.
But yeah, making memories with this watch in every city, fuck, that'd be so cool, man.
That really would. It'd be amazing. It'd be like a voyage of the world, Phileas Fogg.
That is exactly the plan. And I know that Benjamin Chi already shared pictures of the watch in his owners group. He has an owners group on Facebook, and also his group. So I know that he was sharing those images with his clients and people who are interested.
Have you been to the Maldives?
No, Maldives I haven't been, but I will be there for sure, sooner than later.
Beautiful. And I think it's kind of under global warming and stuff. I think it's affecting the archipelago over there. So, you know, if you can see it, definitely recommended to go there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, same with Bora Bora. Yes, they have no floodgates and nothing. If the sea level raises, everything is going under.
Can you describe what cities you have been to, if you don't mind?
Oh yeah, we can go step by step. So Hamburg, of course, Helsinki, I've been. Moscow was always a plan, never been there, and probably in the next years it will be not possible. Dubai, I've been. Maldives is a goal. Bombay, I would love to go to India. I'm totally horrified about the food, because I don't want to limit myself to hotel food, and I'm afraid.
Just don't drink the water. Yeah, the water is the problem.
So the street food is not a problem when it's cooked, you mean?
So you got to be very careful with the street food, just because of the water, right? Like if you're drinking from a glass and they're using ice that it's not like bottled water. You can get sick from the water. So you got to watch out for that, mainly in the street food. Also, a lot of the cooking oil, they reuse over time. And so, like, even my father, who's from India, would say he couldn't even being a local at certain places, he couldn't eat the street food because he would get sick. So definitely you got to be careful. There is a lot of street food bloggers that go to the subcontinent that'll probably tell you places that are a lot better to go to. But yeah, look, Bombay, I've never actually been to. I'm from the north of India. I've never been. Bombay's in the southwest. But like, just, I don't think you have to be limited to hotel food. But you need to know the right places to go to.
Yeah. So, but that is a very important goal for me, and I would like to go to India. There is also a restaurant that I have to visit, which is on my wish list. I forgot the name. Which is supposed to be one of India's best. So certainly on my list. Bangkok, I've been. Hong Kong, of course, been many times. Tokyo, been many times. I've been to Sydney. Noumea is missing on my list so far. Wellington, we've been, totally loved it there. I told the story. Usually it's used, or they used Auckland. I didn't like Auckland as much as we liked Wellington, so Wellington is on this ring. So Midway are some islands. Not been there. Bora Bora, I've been there. Alaska, a goal for me. San Francisco, Aspen, I've been to. Mexico, not. New York, of course, I've been to. Bermudas, I haven't been to. Rio, a big goal for me just to complete New York, Rio, Tokyo. That was always a goal and a dream for me. South Georgia, I haven't been. To the Azores, I've been. GMT, I would like to make a picture of this particular watch in front of John Harrison's home.
Yeah, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the inventor of the marine chronometer.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So GMT UTC would be synonymous for Greenwich. As far as I know, that is a part of London. Is that correct, Thomas?
Yes. Well, it's just. I think it's just outside of London, Greenwich.
Outside of London. Okay.
Yeah.
So London, I've been a couple of times as well.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna head off. It was nice. I just thought I'd quickly come on and say congratulations.
There's no low energy, Mr. GMT. What is happening here? Why don't you criticize the color of my strap or the stitching?
I was gonna get that. I'm really looking forward to the most exciting thing that I'm looking forward to this piece is when you change the fucking strap. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh man, I can't wait for him to put it on a NATO. This is gonna be so good.
Congratulations, my man. It was nice talking to you, Thomas. Tan, look after yourself, man. Stay sexy, brother.
Stay sexy. And
Jonathan, enjoy your watch, brother.
Mr. Ciao. GMT, you have a good morning. I think it's bloody early in the morning right now for you.
Yes, it's 6:30 in the morning now. I woke up especially to say congratulations to you, so don't fucking forget it, all right?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and thank you very much for enabling this watch and enabling the Swis Jon Show.
No worries, my man. Enjoy. Take care. Stay sexy, boys.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you very much, Mr. GMT.
I'm still very curious, Jonathan. I'm going to ask a few more questions if Thomas lets me.
Go for it.
The metal. Can you describe the choice of the metal? I'm sure you had a couple of different options for the piece. Why did you choose this metal specifically?
Do you mean the case metal?
The case metal.
There was no option. This watch was only available at that time in platinum.
Okay, so there's no choice. Yeah, and then the handset. Was there a choice on the hands, or it was static?
Nope.
This was the choice.
No, those are the hands that have been designed by Benjamin Chi. I didn't want to mingle it, but I have a plan for the hands. I want to improve those hands at a later point of time. Do you know how Mundane is using loomed hands without loomed hands looking like?
Yeah. I've owned some pieces. Like I have a Datejust too that actually has no loom on the hands, and not very good in low light. So I agree with you.
1 second. No. I was not joking actually. 1 second. I tried to explain. This is the only modification that I have in mind, and I hope that I'm pretty sure Benjamin Chi is watching this. I hope that he doesn't kill me. So Mundane is putting the loom at the underside of the hands.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I think that is a super cool idea. I'm not sure if that is patented for them or not.
I think I've seen that on other watches as well, so I don't think it is, no.
I hope so not, because I would love to have the underside of my hands loomed like that.
Does the manufacturer, is it, the parts, like the outsource? And the reason I'm asking is specifically about the hands. So when I was talking to Bill Sanders about the Larique watch, he had mentioned that the hand maker for his piece is the same one that makes Patek Philippe's hands. The hands for this piece, was it like, do you know if they're outsourced to another company or if it was made in-house by the manufacturer? Do you have any idea about the story of the hands?
I don't have a special story. I know that the hands are outsourced, and they're made especially for Sven Andersen or for the Benjamin Chi watches. So they are exclusive. When I asked, I got a reply that that didn't make sense, but I was focused on other things. And I'm super complicated because I had so many ideas, so many tweaks and changes. I didn't want to follow that up too much. So
it's funny, Thomas. I'm asking like the same questions he was asking because I'd be probably thinking the exact same thing.
What do you mean?
Meaning, because the watch is a custom watch for you, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that every detail from case, lugs, dial, hands, cities, to the rotor that we talked about, like every detail, I'm sure you wanted the intimate details or as much as you could get because you wanted the full story, right? You don't just want to watch, hey, make this watch and then it's handed to you and you walk away.
Yeah.
You wanted to know because you're sharing with all of us because maybe there's people in the chat at some point in their life that they say, hey, maybe this is an idea I want to do. So I'm fascinated by the story and as much detail as you can give us around every single detail that you went in depth with the actual brand itself.
No, I'm ashamed. I didn't inquire too much about the hands because I thought that they were fitting. I'm going to meet up with Jamie Opulence and we will have a shootout of our two world time watches.
Interesting.
And one critical point of our discussion will be the hands on his Patek Philippe world timer versus the hands on my watch. The problem with those hands is you have a beautiful Cloisonné dial and you want to have as much detail as possible and as little detail covered by the hands. So Patek Philippe,
hour, because he has the hour hand that's like the 5130, right? The older one, the big ring. Yeah, like of all of them, the 5110 and the 5130 and the 5230, like the 5110, the 5230, the new version. Those are my favorite. I think the hands they're better. I agree with you. I don't really like the hands of the 5130 at all.
Yeah. So what I discovered yesterday when I was driving and the sun was going away is that this watch is still very, very well readable. If I remember correctly, the world timer hands are gold and polished. So I'm not sure if it's that easily readable when the light is not perfect. But we will have a look on the watch when we have it side to side.
I've just been corrected by Muhammad Ali, who rightly says that Greenwich is an area of London, so it's
okay.
Near, he works in Canary Wharf, which is close, and it's on the GMT line. So I got it wrong saying it's not part of London. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much, Muhammad Ali. Another reason to visit London very soon.
Sorry, Tan, for breaking your flow.
Oh no, sorry. I'm talking to Surdy Danny in the chat. He's also from England, and I'm going to be there in a few months. And I said we should go for some Indian food. So that was it.
Oh, nothing like a good curry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Indian food in the UK.
I love Indian food. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, from my experience, you get the best Indian food in the UK.
I would agree. Like and look, I eat authentic Indian food pretty often, and just the way the British do it is. It's very good. It's very well done. Spice levels can be very authentic. So yeah, absolutely.
So you say you're going to wear this watch every day, Jonathan? Is that the plan?
The plan is to wear it very often. Not sure about every day because I have other watches that I enjoy and that I will wear. But be sure that this will be a very important watch in my collection, and it will get a lot of love. It will get a lot of use, not a lot of abuse, I promise you. But yes, that's going to be worn very often.
I was going to say, you're going to ditch the Porsche design chronograph.
The Porsche design chronograph, and to be honest, it's the first time that I didn't wear the Porsche design chronograph for 24 hours because I've been wearing my BCHH Celestial Voyager now for over 24 hours. So yeah, that is an exception at the moment, but the Porsche design chronograph will be back, promised.
Yeah, this strap works really well. This is the color, it works really well.
Yeah, this has been a political issue, a political football all over the place. It is a green alligator. No, it is a gray alligator strap with a little hue of green, which matches that hour ring in the middle. I know that Curlicue is not happy about the stitching, the way it is stitched, and the contrasting stitching. I'm personally a fan of having a slight contrast on the stitching against the strap. Otherwise, it's looking too uniform. But that is just my opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say matches the Yowering, which is a really nice touch. I think it's much nicer to match something that's subtle on the dial rather than matching the blue or the darker outer city ring.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've never seen this color on any other watch. So this is a total unique color, just like it is a total unique watch.
Did you so you have a tang buckle, I'm assuming in platinum.
Yes.
Did you have an option to go deploy it, or was it
Nope.
tang only?
No, Sven Andersen is a small manufacturer. I asked, they don't have the option to offer a deployant buckle. I'm playing with the idea of getting a different maker deployant buckle, because the platinum case is really solid and heavy. And I know from
I'm going to ask you a money question here, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And look, obviously you've gone through a lot of detail on the watch, and we're looking at it holistically now. Like, the crown is recessed. It's not, it's very complete. What are maybe either pick one or two, and I know you talked about the loom, but the important pieces that you would have preferred, that you feel that this is an almost perfect watch. What would make it perfect for you? Maybe the one or two things that you could add. And I know the loom was one thing, so maybe a few more.
Whew. That is a difficult question, because as a world time watch with a Cloisonné dial, I see it more or less as being the perfect watch. I can't imagine anything better. I would have told you a week ago I would choose the movement ring in black mother of pearl, because at that point of time it was a white mother of pearl. That would be the only tweak that I would make at the moment. Other than that, I really want to have a watch with fusée chaîne. That is one of my big goals.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but that's something that the manufacturer doesn't do, right? Like,
yeah,
we were
exactly.
discussing this, only a few do it, right? So I mean, I think it was within reason, right? Like, adding things that are fictional may not be what I was kind of getting at. But look, to me, as a complete package, like, personally, I like tang buckles better than deployment buckles on these types of pieces. That's just my preference.
Okay.
what are we going to nitpick, right? Like, quick release lugs versus not, who cares? There's nothing I could pick apart here that I would say it's not perfect. I think the hue of blue is perfect. I think the white metal is perfect. I love platinum. I think platinum is a perfect metal for this. The strap color is amazing. Like, I'm trying to find stuff I can nitpick, and I can't even find it. So I think you got a perfect watch. So
I'm waiting for OC showing up, because usually OC has a talent in having a look at a beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic watch, and he's nitpicking on the one little detail that could be criticized, and he finds it immediately.
Jonathan, here's the thing: ignorance is bliss, right? If you're not so OCD about, maybe OC should be called OCD.
Oh yeah, I think we just invented something here.
There you go. If he's the original OCD, right? Like, I don't think you'll ever be happy, right? Like, and just like my Royal Oak, the 15500, right? The 15510 is a new version, has small differences. To me, like, I can't see it. I understand the differences, like a different chapter ring, or maybe the applied logo not being, like, it's not big enough for me to be like, oh my god, this completely changes it. And that's why I look at this, and I don't think that there would be anything that I would change that would say, oh my god, Jonathan, you did the wrong thing. I think you did the right thing here.
Well, Mr. GMT says get rid of the strap and put Darwin back on through the ring. And Mr. GMT, you're right. It will always scratch me now.
Thomas, what about you? Would you perfect watch? Is there anything you'd want to see? And this is all personal taste, Jonathan, I think. So I don't know. Maybe Thomas can.
I think it's spot on. I can't find a flaw in it, to be honest with you, Tan. It looks stunning. like you say, it's a beautiful watch in a wonderful metal with a Cloisonné dial. I think the strap matches the hour ring perfectly. I'm drooling as I look at it. It's fantastic, and the fact that it's been a personalized watch, it's something that Jonathan has designed in conjunction with Benjamin Chi and Sven Anderson himself. You know, it's something that will be it's the pinnacle of his collection. You know,
it's the story, right? It's the story. It's, you know, if Monochrome or any other the magazines publications highlight this piece, I really do hope, Jonathan, they put yours in, because it's the story. It's a significant amount of money you put in, which you could have bought anything with that kind of money, or a lot of things with that kind of money. And the story around, like, just the cities and just, you know, the guilloche that you were in the certain rotor that you wanted and everything else, like, that's what I think is to me, what I like about watch collecting is the stories behind it. I don't give a shit about stickers and being in perfect condition. I want to hear about the story. Where's this watch been? What has this watch seen? What's the story of this watch? To me, that is what's important about watch collecting. It's not, you know, movement nerding and stuff like that. It's just really the stories.
I love the gold dots. The gold dots on the different locations. You know, on the map. I mean, that's another private touch for Jonathan. You know, it's a personal touch which is private to him. You know, it's just wonderful. It's, like you said,
and that was my
story.
Yeah, that was my first question, or the first discussion that I had with Benjamin Chi. When I approached him, I told him, first of all, I know that you're a lug guy, because only a person who is very interested and very particular about lugs could create this kind of lugs. That was the first sentence I think I told Ben. The second sentence was, look, Ben, I understand the concept of a world timer. Would you be willing, and would you be able to make me a zoom of a world map that incorporates the three most important points in my life, which is Hamburg, Hong Kong, and Bora Bora? And he said, yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to send you a drawing.
You know what's interesting, John? I was just thinking about this, because I know that none of us like talking about value, but, you know, if I were to think, if this was my watch, and someone said, well, what's the value, right? Because everyone thinks, what's the value of this, you know, if you sold it or whatever. And I think this is priceless, because the value of the piece, you know, to you is all of the memories you have with these cities, all of the memories you have building, designing, you know, anticipating for the piece. Like, it's priceless. Like, you can't put a value on something like this, because it truly is priceless. It's something that nobody could take away those stories from you. You know, doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a, you know, a Rolex or a Patek or whatever. Like, this to me is a priceless watch.
Look, I had a discussion with Voulez-Vous, when a discussion about value retention got totally out of hand. And I think I wrote her, and I also wrote it in the comments of this particular show. Just imagine you're a woman and your fiance is gifting you a watch, and he says, look, dear, I'm giving you this special watch, and I can assure you, if you want to sell it again in a couple of years, you will not lose money. This watch has a fantastic value retention. How unromantic would that be? And people are scratching their heads. How can you buy such a watch from an unknown maker? That customization or personalization is ruining the resale value of this particular watch. And I'm just shaking my head and said, guys, you're not getting it.
Well, that's exactly it, right? And to me, I always talk about the journey of a watch collector. And oftentimes there's many folks that start the journey with, you know, hey, we don't have a lot of money, and we just want to ensure that our, you know, our quote unquote investment is safe. And yeah, maybe we're just not fully into the gain, and we don't want to lose our mind. And look, that's fair to say, right? But when you really progress into the point of looking at pieces like this, where it's very personal, to you, you don't care. Like, well, what is it like to you? Nobody, like, if Aspen, look at Aspen, right? Nobody can take away that memory of yours. That memory is priceless to you, right? So no matter all the money in the world or whatever it may be, right, to you, that is going to mean something. And that's why I said use the term priceless, because you can't put a price on those memories.
Exactly. Yeah. Hallmark is asking what the dot on Senegal is for. There are 4 silver dots, which is 12, 3, 6, and 9. So the dot of Senegal would be at 9.
Yeah, I was just going to say that to Hallmark, because you've got the quarters indicated with those dots, which is a really nice touch.
And we have one of the other fathers of this particular watch, which is Design Atelier, and he provided us with the mock-ups because I wanted the continents to be bright, and he made several design suggestions and mock-ups. So, for example, the one here that you see in my avatar, that is based on a mock-up that Design Atelier made for me, and from there on, it all progressed.
Yeah, he's just saying this is why it's Movados. So,
yeah, that is a very good comment. Yes,
I saw that short that he did, Design Atelier, and it's a really nice, interesting story that it was a gift from your wife and started you on your hobby. Yeah, really interesting.
So, for the people who still have a discussion about the strap, I have a strap on order, a navy blue strap from Hermes, which should arrive in the next couple of days, weeks. I'm gonna try that out as an alternative. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna pick later. I'm totally relaxed about the strap discussion because a strap is easily changed when I really make the decision that I want something else. So to me, it's not a big deal how the stitching looks like or the contrasting, because I know that I can change it.
Like you could call Aaron Bespoke or Combat Straps, and he can make you whatever you want, custom to whatever you want. You can make this more customized. Like a strap is nothing. Like nobody cares about that. It's really everything else that's important. Are the spring bars also platinum? Like, do you know if they're platinum or not?
That is a good question that I didn't ask, but I will ask. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about just changing the strap, right? Like these straps, I mean, it's a pretty tight fit. It doesn't have the quick release, right? So
it has quick release.
Oh, okay, even better. Because I was worried. I'm like, fuck. If this was me, I'd have to take the old dental floss, and I'd use the dental floss so I don't nick up the lugs on this one, because it looks like a pretty tight fit, and I don't want to put in the tool and then nick up the lugs, because it's like, and look, even nicking up platinum, because platinum and gold are kind of different, right? Like when you platinum, a lot of the metal just shifts, doesn't really necessarily get removed.
Doesn't wear off.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and again, this luster, the hue of the platinum will be different than like a white gold hue. So pretty interesting.
So not sure if you can see it here, the quick release spring bars.
Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see
on the left one. Yeah, I can see on the left one. Yeah.
See, Thomas, he thought the right way with the quick release. This is a smart thing to do. Yeah, I would be doing that. I would not want to fucking fuck around with this.
Thought of everything, hasn't he, Tom? Yeah.
That's what I expected from Jonathan. That's what I expected. If he didn't, and it's funny, I caught him on one thing he didn't ask about, so I'm sure he's sending an email right now.
No, not yet. Unless you mention Moritz Grossmann, then I'm gonna write.
No, that's a separate stream we'll do. Man, that blue rotor is so nice.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to capture. But you can get an idea that it's never a uniform color, because all those reflections always give a different kind of view on the rotor.
It does, but even in this light, right? You're seeing it looks so nice, man. Like, and I know the blue in a lower light looked a lot more blue. This is more shows like probably a lighter shade of blue. but yeah,
It's
like
almost
either shade is good, man. Like I would not. And this has ceramic ball bearings so that the rotor is not super loud. Like
no, those are traditional ball bearings.
those are still ball
That is a
bearings.
movement out of the 1960s.
Oh, okay. Hey, you know
So-
what? Paddock's 215 movements from probably that era, and it's rock solid.
So it's unidirectional winding, and it makes a nice noise when you hear that. But
Yeah, it's
bear
funny.
in mind, I owned the watch now for 24 hours, and I've been driving most of the time. I couldn't find out every single detail and every single user experience. So at the moment, I'm just enjoying that it's there.
It was nice in the last photo you showed, though. The rotor was almost going green sort of color.
I agree.
In the light, it was beautiful. Yeah.
But it's very bright compared to the standard rotor, which is really dark blue and has a cloudy pattern. Let me try to find a picture.
And you shouldn't be unhappy with the movement. You can see perlage there on the movement finishing. It's nice.
Look, I'm totally happy with the movement. Actually, I think it's beautifully decorated. I've seen how the watchmakers are polishing every single tooth of those wheels, and I'm not sure which other companies really put that effort on. They are recutting the teeth. They're starting slightly too big and then shortening them down to the right degree. So there is a lot of handwork, a lot of adjustment, a lot of artisan work going into those movements. So it's not that they have them ready and just fire them in.
No, it looks good to me. No complaints.
Yeah, Neo's congratulating you on the watch as well. So
thank you very much, Neo.
Hey, Neo.
So 1 second, I wanted to show you the standard rotor, which isn't shabby at all. So
Is it blued or is it going to be just yellow gold?
It is also blued, but it's a little bit darker. 1 second. So that was the article that came out in October, which drew me into the watch. So that was the first image, and that's the history. By the way, the Mundus that I've just been talking about is amazing, and that picture basically sold the watch to me.
Oh yeah, the lug. Yeah, that's the one.
The Eagle Wings lugs. So yeah,
landed. Yeah.
When I saw that, I had to get it because from that perspective, they look pretty random or standard, but then you have a look at that. So I wanted to show you the rotor. Yeah, here you can see the standard rotor, which is much darker in comparison. And it has that circular pattern, which is certainly nice. You can see the ball bearings here, by the way, the metal ball bearings. But I personally prefer the way it went on my watch.
You know what? Some people like a noisy rotor. My 324 movement in my Nautilus was extremely noisy. But hey, some people like it. It was unique. I'd never had a watch that was that loud. But yeah, like I don't really care personally on that kind of shit.
So any more questions?
I wish, Jonathan, I wish you had a picture of just the basic, just gold rotor before they'd done any of the work.
I have it.
Do you show? I didn't see it. Show it.
I showed it on the show previously once.
Oh, I probably missed it. Usually Saturdays aren't the best. But
here I have it. 1 second. That is the rotor before it was heat blued. I hope that my browser doesn't crash when I have too many open pictures. Usually my browser crashes. Oh, 1 second. I have to convert it. So it is It looks like yellow gold, but it's a little bit brighter and a little bit weirder, I would say. 1 second.
And it started off as 22 karat, 21 karat. Do you know?
21 carat, yeah.
21,
21.
yes.
21. Okay.
Where's the picture? Here it is. Okay, I need Swis here. So, 1 second.
It would have been easier if the show was just called Swis and Tom.
Yeah. There you go.
Aha, there we go. So this is it was somewhat finished. So this is prior to them bluing it.
Yes.
Heating it up. And you said that if they heat it up too much, it's like screws, it'll go purple and it'll be completely
exactly, yes. That is why I'm personally not a fan of those purplish looking hands that you find, for example, with Moritz Grossmann, because in my opinion that purple hue is overdone, and I personally don't like that too much.
Yeah, no, this is what I want. I'd been thinking about this, that I really have wanted to see just the yellow gold version of it prior to getting glued. But that's really nice.
That is also a very nice asset that Sven Andersen or the Alex and Benjamin Chi provided me with those in-process pictures. Ask Patek Philippe if they can show you a picture of a certain part that is not ready. You're not gonna get a reply. And the guys at Sven Andersen were very responsive and very easy to communicate with. I just wanted to show you the white mother of pearl movement ring again. Here you have it. Here you can see the movement ring in the white nacre, and mine is a little bit.
This is always a contentious point. You know, I get this a lot with the 5196 that I own. Movement spacers and stuff like that. This movement looks of the size of the case. Like, it looks proper. It doesn't look off. Certain Pateks are just, even the 5212 weekly calendar, to me, just it's a little small for the 40 millimeter case. Like, maybe they should have gone with a 38. But I think this movement looks of the proper size, and I think the movement ring is appropriate. So yeah, I wouldn't have any complaints here. I think this is spot on.
Yeah.
It's mother of pearl, you say, Jonathan?
Yes.
Wow. That's a lovely touch.
Yeah, and that is Benjamin Chi, who always tries to... He told me, when we had the first discussion, he told me he wanted to make a better world timer than the Patek Philippe. That is what he told me, frankly. And I think in many, all those little details sum up and make it a better watch in the end. Just have a look at the Aventurin City Ring, which nobody else does, or with a higher resolution on the borders of the Cloisonné compared to a Patek Philippe. It is not that colorful like Patek Philippe. Benjamin Chi told me, yeah, I could have done it, but I didn't want to copy the world timer. I wanted to make my own watch. So it comes down then again to personal taste and personal preference.
Yeah, and I think Patek Philippe is really the standard that people will compare themselves to from a world time perspective. And, you know, it's not a very popular line, in my opinion. It's kind of the one that you'll see sitting in the 80s. But there are some folks that just, like, you know, Archie, for example, loves the world time. It's like, it's his watch. He believes, to him, Patek Philippe world time is just, it's just critical to have. And I'm one of those guys as well. I do believe a lot in the world time. And yeah, look, I'm struggling to see where Jamie's going to come out with a winning strategy here to, you know, because the price is way more money for his, you know, maybe brand awareness. But even then, right, it's just, you're getting a lot of value in this piece, you know, for the money that you're spending and the amount of customization you're getting, which you won't get from Patek Philippe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have one point where he may be able to score, but I'm thinking about drawing the following rules when we are doing the shootout. In my opinion, the golden rule will be you're not allowed to shit on the other watch. And what I would like to approach is Jamie must tell the good points on my watch, and I must tell the positive points on his watch. And then Jamie must talk about the bad points on his watch, and I must talk about the bad points on my watch. So I'll turn this duel upside down, where basically you're not allowed to bad talk the other one's watch, but you have to find negative points about your own watch.
That's a good technique, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like, naturally a Patek Philippe versus a independent discussion is always going to somehow get into money and value and stuff like that. And I think it's probably one to avoid because, you know, it's very subjective. It's, you know, you're talking about two kind of different spheres, I would say, in terms of that. And, you know, like, value retention at this level of watch, the collectors are really discerning. They're discerning people that go just beyond the investment purpose of it. They go to, like, what we're doing is the actual details of everything, because they're really discerning in the sense that they want something specifically for themselves. They want something different, right? Like, you know, Jonathan, 1,000 people in the chat will say, why didn't you buy a Rolex GMT Pepsi Meteorite or something, right? So something that is a lot more generic. And you're like, well, I wanted a watch that's a one of one. I wanted a watch that has symbolic, you know, something symbolism to me specifically, right? That's what the collectors at this level look for. They're very discerning. And I think that the majority of the folks, the watch collectors on YouTube, you know, just, they're really never really exposed to that. So the more money value retention stuff, I think at the collector level at this point, people are really going to go about the way you're going about it, and they're not really going to give a shit, because people with that kind of money, you know, it's whatever, you know, 50,000, 100,000, what's the fucking difference?
Well, I can tell you that the money that I spent on this watch is not an easy money, and of course I thought deeply about it, and I had to get rid of some pieces of my collection to make this possible. But in the end, I just wanted to do something that triggered me and that I wanted, and the other factors. Will I ever be able to sell this particular watch? Played no role in that consideration.
No, this to me is like an heirloom piece, right? Yeah. It's not something I sell because I want to make money. This is a heirloom. You give it to either children, family members, you know, friends, whoever that you want to give this to when it's time to give it away. And then that person hopefully will have the same sentiment. Like, you know, for example, you know, I have a watch that, you know, I actually got, you know, from a family member that had passed. It's not worth anything. It's a G-Shock, but that family member wore that piece every single day, you know, up until their death. And they're a very important family member to me. And I asked the family, you know, hey, you know, I don't really want any money. Can I just have this? Because it was important to me, right? Like, hopefully it goes to somebody that will understand the story that you're telling, because they will never want to sell it because of the same purpose.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great point.
I'll make sure that the story gets across. And first of all, I'm trying to put my thoughts into that monochrome article. And secondly, my wife also knows about the thought process. And I have somebody in mind who may get this watch, and be sure that I'm going to tell him the story very soon.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Jonathan. Yeah,
it's an heirloom piece, guys. Like, this is not a. I think again, right? People asking questions about money, like, it is just, they're missing the point, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. This is just for my enjoyment. And this is exactly what I wanted. But this is certainly not your first luxury watch. You're doing those kind of crazy things when you know pretty well what you want, and when you own some pieces. And
that's true, right? Like, you have to really understand, like, what your tastes are and like the whole deployant buckle versus tang buckle, the whole eagle lugs versus teardrop lugs, all these different things that you need to have experienced to be able to make the decisions that you made, to be as discerning as you were in choosing this. I agree 100%. Can you pull up Neil's last comment? Because I think, Jonathan, you and I have been, and Thomas have all been talking about this on YouTube.
I was just going to say, could you put up Neil's comment, because it's really relevant and it's really poignant as well. In 2022 and 2023, Watch YouTube has shown us that this watch and the Lyrique, which was Bill Sanders' watch, this is amazing, really, and perhaps the start of more horology on YouTube, independent horology. That people have come together and customized their own watches, and really been. It's been a feat of passion from the people to really want to. Nothing to do with value retention or anything like that, but just a feat of passion to customize a watch of their own.
Well, I think Thomas, there's nothing wrong with value retention. There's nothing wrong with that. The whole Archie strategy, because he really did speak about this before anybody was talking about it on YouTube, was be thrifty, buy secondhand, really get your bang per buck. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's life, right? Everybody does that. But over time, that's a really beginner strategy, right? It's a strategy that, it's good. It's great info for beginners. As you progress, and like Jonathan said, you get exposed to a lot more, because to me, I said this to Jonathan in the past, was like, if we're just talking about hype pieces, it's 24 pieces. There's thousands of watches out there. Like, why would you limit yourself to just talking about 24 pieces? That if you've owned all 24 of them, life gets boring at that point.
I think you make a very important point, Tan, because there is not the right way. It's all about choices. When people want the strong brand, when they want to play it safe, that they're able to cash it in, there is nothing wrong about it. But in my opinion, it's also important to show the other side. And the other side is just those craftsmen that are behind those pieces. Watchmaking or horology with all artisans that are connected is really a piece of art. It is something outstanding, which is much more than marketing, than branding. And the Swis Jon Show here, we are addressing people who are more interested in this aspect of collecting watches. And it just gives you a choice. We're not saying our way is correct. I totally accept when people are saying you're a moron, you could have gotten a Platona instead, and you've just been wasting your money. I don't agree, but I can understand the person where he's coming from. So it's all about choices, but it's good to have those things. And there I agree with Neo. This Lyrique project has been done by complete strangers who gathered together on YouTube and started their own project, which is totally adorable, and I find it fascinating. I wish I would have known a little bit earlier. I may have jumped on. Mrs. Higgins, I hope that you don't listen to that. But I've been doing this project now for a year, and I enjoy talking about it, and probably I can infect somebody with this passion and with this interest for those dying arts, and probably somebody else will be open to do something like that. I remember my first time when I was in Basel, the independent watchmakers, which were represented then by Sven Andersen, they were standing at a little table at the back room of the exhibition hall, and nobody really was interested in them. They were freaks, actually, and nobody really wanted to talk to them. And what I see in the last couple of years is the uprise of those independent little watchmakers. utensil call the Phoenix brands, because most of them are very young companies.
Some of them.
Well, most of them are pretty young companies, and I think it is stunning that we see those crazy projects, just like Ferdinand Berthoud or de Bethune, which I personally don't like the design language, but I think it's those are freaky watches, which are applaudable, and which is just nice to have as a contrast to the big
Jonathan,
brands.
The market's shifting, right? Like, and I'll explain how. So when you go to these like higher end watch meetups, right? And you wear your Panda Daytona, like there's 5 other ones in the room. Like you're not unique, you know, not to your small circle, you know, you've got the hyped watch, you got the Panda Daytona, right? Like, but when you actually go amongst serious collectors, everyone's like, yeah, I got one of those too. Like it's just not unique. So there's a huge drive in the market right now for the independents, because they're just more special, and people want that. They want special. They don't want to see somebody else. You don't want to show up to the meet where you're wearing a 5711 Nautilus thinking you're king shit, and there's 3 other ones in the room, right? You want to have a story. Like, this is the thing. A lot of people don't understand this, but you know, that is an absolute reality, and that's why those independents are doing so well right now.
But probably 90% of the collectors will just look down on me and said, this guy is out of his mind. He could have gotten a Platona instead.
Yeah, but those are collectors, again, that are pretty new to the hobby, right? A lot, like, look, on YouTube, I've been around YouTube for quite some time. Like, a lot of these new channels, like the collectors have been collecting for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? They're pretty new into it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they haven't really experienced all those watches to get to the point where other folks are saying, yeah, you know what, I've had those, they're cool, but I want something different. They're going to get there eventually. And then when you're the big spender collector, the ones that have everything, even them, they're just like, yeah, you know what, like I have all these pieces that everybody wants, but I really want something else that nobody has. And that's why they're driving the MB&Fs and the, you know, all these other Gronefelds and other brands of the world that are just so much different and so much more limited.
Yeah, Watch 363's got a great point, Jonathan. What's next? How do you follow this? Is this your swan song? Is this the final frontier?
You know, when I've gotten my Lange perpetual calendar, a friend of mine said, "This is your exit watch," and here I am now. So there is one piece that I'm after. It is reserved for me. I'm working on it, but I can't disclose it at the moment because I've learned in this YouTube thing, you're not talking about pieces that you want, because then somebody else will snap it in front of you.
Okay, I'm going to make a guess here. 33 millimeter, pink gold, minute repeater, teardrop lugs.
No.
Was I close in any way?
Minute repeater, just for the fact that I don't want to spend 20,000 to have it serviced, or even more.
Yeah, they minute the service. The service will definitely kill
you can get minute repeaters really cheap, but then find somebody who services it outside of the big companies, and big companies are charging you dearly. That is, it is not very close, or it is not far away from my thought process.
Boom! I knew I was close. Come on.
No, I'm not going to tell you more about it.
Well,
but
no, at least
but be assured,
it's 33 millimeters was a joke. I know it's not.
Yeah. It will be something more technical. I think I've covered all bases in terms of artisan dial making, and enamel was always on my list. I didn't know that I wanted aventurine. Guys, if you have the chance to see an aventurine dial, even if it's artificial, have a look at it. You can't capture that in pictures. You have to see it in real life.
Yeah, the speckles and the shimmering and the.
Yeah, I've been in touch with Russ yesterday, and I told him it's like little needles in your eyes.
We have OC in the chat. OC, we gave you Jonathan, please describe how we gave him
the original OCD. We've been waiting for you.
Yes,
and OC didn't disappoint. So he said replace San Francisco with Los Angeles, and this would have the OC stamp of approval. Seriously, congratulations, cool-looking piece. He didn't comment on Rio de Janeiro. I'm a little bit surprised.
That's a tough one because everyone does it differently, right? I actually like this way of doing it than the other way. This is cooler, or just Rio. Like I don't like just Rio. Like nah.
Yeah, but I made my reasons clear. Rio just stands alone. Then there is a big gap then to the other cities, and that was the reason why I didn't go with Rio alone.
That's why you're also the original OCD.
Yes.
Me, I would just be like, yeah, it passes. Quality control passed. So OCD gave me the nickname the original
Don,
OCD.
I'm German. You know.
Yeah,
I have the right to be OCD.
Yes, very meticulous.
That is in our DNA, I would say.
No, that's cool. I actually got to run, guys. I gotta go skip to my nephew's birthday party. But thank you again for having me. Awesome.
Thank you very much for hopping on. I trust that you gave me the email.
Yeah, absolutely. I sent you my email, so just give me a shout whenever you're doing it, and I'll hop on.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We wish you a happy birthday from us all.
Oh, he's 4 years old. He's stoked. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Ciao.
It's going to be a great party. Bye-bye, Tan. Bye.
See you later.
Okay, so there we go. What is open? Which questions are opened?
Neo brought up another point. Also, keep in mind the law. A lot of people don't recognize. Just because you can buy a watch doesn't mean you can afford it. He knows Daytona's lost money out of the door for many of these guys who couldn't afford it. That's interesting.
That is a good point, and I've been saying that for a very long time. A Daytona is not a steel Daytona is not a $35,000-$40,000 watch, and the steel Nautilus is not a $100,000 watch. And so, if you're willing to invest in that, you're willing to gamble, and it may go wrong, and you may lose money. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So Holmilk says Jonathan Quell Higgins needs the Marco Lang Zweigesicht next. Very good choice. Very interesting. I'm not ready for Marco Lang at the moment. The design is a little bit too baroque, a little bit too conservative, in my opinion. But technically, and from decoration and everything, Marco Lang is amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on, Jonathan.
No. I was just, I was planning to be 45 minutes on just to present the new watch. Now we're running 1 hour and 44. I'm amazed how time flies.
It's just such a fascinating topic, though. I mean, it's like Tanzil said. I mean, you've and like Neo pointed out, we've got some fascinating watches from independent people cropping up this year and last year, and it's really heartwarming. I find people are actually breaking the mold and going for their own passions, which is really, 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 really nice. I think
that's what it should be all about. But but I'm happy to offer a different point of view. I've always been like that. Sometimes you're a total outsider, nobody understands you. But when it finds a little bit of appreciation, then all is well. Not that it's overly important to me. I just enjoy the watch just like it is.
But like Tanzil pointed out, you've been through the journey. I mean, we all go through the journey and buy the hype watches and the ones that have got value retention and in the first place. So and you've done that over decades and reached this point in your life where you've finally reached this point in your life where you've been enabled to do this, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I personally needed a push. So it was not that I was looking for a personalized experience. What triggered me, and I was talking about that earlier, were the lugs. That is where everything started. I was just looking at those lugs, and I thought I have to get this watch. 1 second here.
Eagle's lugs. Eagle wings.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they just look beautiful, don't they?
Okay, so I think it was a very interesting show. Thank you very much, Thomas, to be on my side. Otherwise, it would have been even more boring, like Mr. GMT said. Thank you very much to Tan for joining us, and Mr. GMT for hopping on. The guys in the comment, the guys and gals in the comment, apparently had a lot of fun. I haven't watched all the comments because, like I said, I'm a bad multitasker, and I have enough to do to pull up the pictures that I want to talk about.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So Swis is dearly missed. I hope that he returns very soon. When he does, I'll make sure that everybody knows. Yeah. Other than that, I just can say thank you very much for listening, for watching, for subscribing to our channel, and for just being with us. I'm dropping the link in the comments again for the after show. Probably we will have 1 or 2 guys later on. For everybody else, you have a good day. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Yeah, thank you.